Yo guys, I'm Nick from the Producer School and welcome back to a brand new video. After the huge success of our latest sample pack Oasis, we decided it was time to keep creating packs in the genre of Afro House. Therefore, we are now releasing our new pack Desert, which is a fully stacked Diva Soundbank with all the sounds you need for your next Afro House track. In this bank you can explore basses, drums, plucks, synths, sequences and more. The pack is inspired by names like Kinda Music, Alex1 and Black Coffee. Today I will take you through some of our favorites from the pack, and if you want to get more details, don't forget to go to the link in the description to find everything you need to know about this pack. Let's now dive into the previews. Let's start with the first sound, which is bass Behold, which is a typical Afro House Reese bass, which sounds like this. Very wide sound and just very usable in general. Next we have this very low sub bass with a little bit of punch in it, and it's called Bass Destination. If you're listening on a phone or a very bad speaker, you won't probably even hear it, but it's very low and focused. Next we have this plucky short bass called Bass East, which is perfect for some driving top basses. And it becomes more of a bass shot once you open up the filter. Next we have bass 3, which is a very low bass with some nice harmonics added to it, which makes it a very rich sounding sound. Next we have bass Glory, which is kind of hard for Afro House, but it's a very melodic bass shot, which you can use for things like this. And it becomes more of a bass if you turn down the cutoff. Next we have bass knocker, which is a very punchy 808 type of sound, and you can use this very subtly throughout your tracks. For example, on a place where you would normally place a tom or layered with it, to get that really low punchy sound that can contribute to the rhythm very well, which sounds like this. So suppose you have a rhythm and then at the end of every bar you just play the sound, and it can really help you to get a better groove. Next up, bass Passion, which is a really cool sustained bass, which sounds like this. Next, bass Sentience, which is another Reese bass, but with a bit more modulation, and it sounds like this. Sounds pretty harsh for Afro House, but in the current wave with artists like Alex1 and Revo, Afro House becomes a little bit harder and you can perfectly use these kind of basses. Next up is bass Superior, which is the last bass I'm going to show you, and yet again this one is a sustained bass and it's sounding really fat. very usable sound. Next up, we decided to add some drum elements as it's a vital element of the Afro House sound, and therefore I'm just going to take you through some of the sounds. And the first sound is this clicky clave sound, which is sounding like this. And it's very nice to add some more groove to the tracks. Then we have this drum called plop, which as the name suggests is more of a ploppy sound. A shaker sound, which is really nice if you play around with the decay automation. Noise bass, but really sounds like a shaker. And then we have 4 toms. And a wooden percussion. The nice thing about these sounds inside a synthesizer is that you can still adjust them. So if you want them to be a bit shorter or a bit longer, you can do that yourself, which gives you a bit more control than having a sample. And it's also just nice to see how you can make these kind of sounds inside a synthesizer. Next, I'll show you some of the leads. We didn't put that much leads in this pack as the focus in Afro House is definitely on other sounds such as sequence sounds, plucks and basses. However, I will now showcase you a few of them. First of all, we have this lead called Bright with a relatively slow attack, really cool sound. Then there's lead Sunrise, which is more of a vibrato lead. Works really well in the back of a drop, for example. Then there is this lead called Genius, which is a very wonky lead with some glide to it. And last but not least, a whistle sound. Moving on to the plugs, which play a vital role in Afro House. This is plug apart. And another similar type of plug is plug behind. Very wet kind of sound. Next is plug catch, which is a very bright sounding plug. You can hear with some vibrato to it, which gives that real nice analog touch to the sound. Next, plug Lover, which is a sine based top plug. And plug Shine, which is a really short driving top plug, which you can use in interesting rhythms. Let's move on to some sequence sounds, which are really interesting for this genre as well. So the first one is Sequence Alter. Sequence Message, which is a high synth cushion sound. Sequence Plan, which is more sine based. And Sequence Remember, which is more of a high pass kind of saw. All really nice and easy to use presets. The last part of this video are the synths, and this is Synth Galaxy, which is a really vintage sounding analog synth. Then we have Synth Gently, which is more of a background pad. Synth Haze, which has a very wobbly texture. Synth Nostalgia, which are analog sounding keys with a very lush touch to it. Last but not least, this pad called Synth Outside. I hope you guys liked the preview of this new pack. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you would like to learn more about the pack, head over to the link in the description where there's a much more detailed overview of the pack. For now, I want to thank you guys for watching and I see you guys in the next video.